What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is the Deuce episode 4 recap. Remember to subscribe to my channel. If you're new, click that bell next to the subscribe button. Also, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and support me on Patreon. The links are located down below. Now, let's get started. The Deuce is now in episode 4. For those who don't know about The Deuce, it's a show set in the 70s and it's talking about the life of pimps, hoes, and how they were making the transition into porn and other things. Now, when we check in, we see Candy, and she's out and she having a smoke, and it's been raining real bad. She's been having a hard time picking up Johns, and she's speaking with Lori, and she's telling Lori, hey, I'm about to go to the movie theater. And Lori's saying, well, Cece don't like me going to the movie theater. He says it's beneath me. And Lori is asking her, what do you think about that? And Candy say, it doesn't matter to me. Well, I'm on my knees, back, whatever. Ain't no bending like hoe business. And so Lori, Candy goes to the movie theater to pick up some Johns, and while she's there, she stops inside. She's checking out the little movie there, and then the guy walks up to her and say, hey, you want to watch a movie, which is their little code word slang for, hey, you want to slob on Bob. And so she's down there and she giving him a little Eddie Murphy because the movie was on, a little Eddie Murphy. And next thing you know, you see a big ass rat crawling on her back, which scared the hell out of her because she ain't know Master Splinter was trying to get a little piece too. And so when she saw it crawling on her, she jumped, like flinched, and gave him some head up top too, gave him a double dose of head. And Cole knocked old boy smooth out down there, left him leaking out of the head, both heads he was leaking. And she tried to get her shit together, and she ran up out of there while old boy was leaking out of both dome pieces. And she was outside, and she's trying to catch her breath and get her shit together or whatever. And here come this little Danny DeVito with a wig on, come asking her, hey, what's up? You want to go see a movie? And so she was back in action right that fast. Meanwhile, Rudy Pipolo is counting the money and everything with Vinnie, and he's telling him how much he appreciates, how he's honest, and that he got a big score coming up for him. Also, we check in and we see the gay bartender with his boyfriend, and the boyfriend kind of nervous or whatever out at the bar. At the restaurant. He telling him, hey, ain't nothing to be worried about. This New York, ain't nobody caring. Your dad, your people, they ain't gonna be noticing. He's saying, well, it's more than that. I got business partners, this and that. I'm not really trying to be out here like that. And he's saying, hey man, it's okay, don't worry about it. And then we see Vince with his brother-in-law, and his brother-in-law stressing because the kids making all kind of noise. He trying to tell him to be cool. He when he gets back to work and everything. And then lo and behold, in walks in Vin's wife, and she's bringing in a little dish to pretend like she cares about Vin's brother-in-law and everything. And he's trying to talk to her, and she's all smiles. It looked like the sister is in on setting them up to get together. But Vin hit the door with the quickness, talking about he got to leave. And so he trying to walk out of there and get away from her crazy ass. And here she come walking outside, and she's trying to hold him down and say, hey, what's up? Let me talk to you. How's you doing? I heard your bar doing good. Of course you want to talk to him now that he is success. And she's saying the kids miss him and everything. And then he like, I miss him too. Then she like, well, I miss you too. And so now he's trying to say, well, you don't really miss me. Remember, you burned my clothes on fire, which is included. She's crazy as hell, and he don't need to be messing with her. We catch up with Candy, and she's in the record shop, and she's blowing on the harmonica. I guess it's hard for her not to blow every chance she gets. And then this guy with this 70s porn mustache looking like a fake ass Magnum PI tries to holler at her and asking her about what she's doing and who she there for. And then she's saying, what do you want? And he's like, well, for starters, your phone number. He's so corny. And she ends up kind of giving him the look as if she's about to fall for it. We catch up with the police, and they see a dude pissing in the phone booth, and they're getting ready to run it on him. And he's like, man, you want to try to arrest this dude for pissing in the phone booth? And the black cop is saying, nah, man, I want to get old boy. It looked like he just tossed a bag or something over there on the side. So he told him to run interference on the pisser, and he gonna try to run up on the dope dealer. And so Officer Goodfro trying to sneak up behind him, and he grabs old boy and tell him, don't move, don't move. And then he tries to arrest him, and the other cop is telling him, hey man, we can't arrest nobody. Remember, this is a no-go area. He like, well look, we gonna take him down and take him to the desk and see how serious this no-go really is. I want to see if it's really as deep as they trying to say. I want to know what's going on. And so they take him down. Meanwhile, Vinnie, he's in the bar and he's chilling, shooting the breeze, and he sees that the gay bartender is kind of talking with this other dude, look kind of sweet and suspicious. Then they talking or whatever, and then the dude leave, and Vinnie asks him, he say, man, I seen him before, where's he from? He's like, yeah, he was in a TV commercial. And so they outside and they shooting the breeze, and Vinnie's telling him he appreciated he a good bartender and he liked that he'd stay around or whatever the case. But the bartender giving him hints that he don't really feel comfortable there, it ain't his crowd. Meanwhile, back at the precinct, the officer is asking him about the bus, and he's telling him, and he's saying, didn't we tell you that's a no-go area? What the hell you doing? And then that's the officer in charge, told him to let him go. And so now Officer Goodfro looking stupid right now, like, damn, I guess this is for real. And then they give him one of these watches they confiscate. He said, maybe now you know what time it is. Like, checkmate, dumbass. Meanwhile, we see Skeletor's sister walking in, and damn, she's skinny as hell. Look at them legs. And she walking into the damn diner that they all hang out in, and she give Larry the money, and he talking about it's looking a little light. She ain't got enough money. And then she's saying, well, I've been on my period, I ain't really been able to do much. And he tell her, well, you better double up on the sucks with that big ass Jay Leno chin that you got. And so she's looking like, well, I ain't been able to do too much and this and that. And she asked one of the girls if they got an extra tampon or whatever for her. And she was saying that her room and her bed is all messed up, look like the Manson family murderers or whatever was there because of all the blood. She just getting real gross with it, trying to gross them out. And the other girl give her the tampon to use. And then Thunder Thighs, Ruby, she started talking about why don't you start using this sponge? A lot of the Johns don't even know you got one up there. And look at her big ass titties in that yellow bra. Look like she got her titties in a banana hammock. And so she's talking to Skeletor, and Skeletor is asking, well, what about it? How do you do it? And she's saying, well, you just got to be careful how you use it, because one time I did and almost got a yeast infection. And she was like, well, how you get it out? She said, I went to the hardware store and got a pair of needle nose pliers and dug it out. And Larry just got grossed out while he was eating. He said, y'all need to keep y'all lady business to yourself. And he got up and went over there talking to Rodney and General Richie. And so he's talking, and Big Slim say, man, I'm surprised to see your mouth, big mouth, so shut. I ain't never seen your big mouth so closed. And he's saying, man, these ladies, they talking about their lady problems. I ain't trying to hear all that. And then General Richie was talking about their cycle is in tune with the moon. And he talking about on some werewolf shit. He's like, no, not necessarily. And then Rodney saying, hey man, you just gotta ride that crimson wave. You know, I like ketchup on my hot dog. I don't know about you, which is gross. And so then we see Cece, and he talking with Lori, and he talking with Ashley, and Lori bringing him the money, and he happy with Lori, but he ain't too happy with Ashley. And he's saying that, damn girl, you tired again? You trying to get off early? You need to go on and handle them dudes in the bread trucks. And Lori's saying, hey, I'll do it. And she's saying, well, why would you want to do that? She's like, well, I just want to help out. If you're tired, you can get some rest. And then Cece said, nah, you going to go home with me and get some rest. Ashley is going to go ahead and do what she needs to do and handle them dudes in the bread truck, maybe even bring back a loaf of bread. And so Ashley, she's salty, but she go ahead and walk across the street and try to handle it, and she tried to poke her belly out in order for her to have some booty poking out. And so she walking out with her belly poked out a little bit like a Somali kid, but in the end it just had that booty leaking out the back. And so then Reggie Love asking, hey, you seen one of his girls? He say, no, I wasn't on watch last night. Lo and behold, these girls that he looking for, they out getting their liquor license, licking each other up and down, having a good time in the bed. And so Skeletor and the other girl get up, and she's looking at her and wishing she'd stay. But in the end, Skeletor, she got a battle to fight, so she's off and running. And then we see the gay bartender and his boyfriend, and they just got through riding that baloney pony. And so the boyfriend happy he just got off that baloney pony, and he getting dressed, feeling good. Then he's talking about the bartender talking about how he wanna start his own bar and get it his own thing going. And the bartender say, "I thought you was happy where you are." He like, "Yeah, but that ain't really for me. That crowd." And so Skeletor coming back, and she's ready to give Larry her money, but she already had a little stash of money when she just got through getting her liquor license. And she gave Larry a nice little stash, which is pretty much her own money. And he's kind of looking like something was fishy, but he can't really put his finger on it right now. And so then we see Vinnie and his partner or whatever, and they at the work site, and this guy Bill Schmidt comes in, and he don't want to partake in getting his money early. He said instead of doing that, I'll just wait till Monday. Instead of paying an extra $24, I'll just keep my money because it adds up too much. And so they're a little salty about that. And then we see Candy, and she's been managing and counting all her money and paying her bills. That's a little 1-bedroom apartment that she got, and she listening to messages of John's on her answer machine. And now we see her, she just picked up one of her regulars, and she's on the way up to handle business. They cut to inside the bar, and we see Vinnie talking with Rudy Piccolo, and they telling him about what happened, about how Bill Schmidt had influenced other workers not to take the money. And so he's saying, so they trying to organize against us. And then Vinnie's brother-in-law saying, nah, they just trying to prove a point, but sooner or later they'll come back around. Then we see Candy, and her regulars on top of her just humping. All he doing is moving his head around, ain't moving the rest of his body till he finally get to where he going. She get up, she try to pull that flat pancake booty in, it's leaking out the bottom, and she pulls it all, her pants all the way up to wedgie status. And so then she's walking away, and old boy is kind of fell in love, asking do you always be at the same spot? What's your name again? And she telling him Candy. She put on her Marilyn Monroe wig, and she's ready to roll. Meanwhile, we see Ashley, and she's looking in the mirror in the bathroom, and then we see the other girl in the stall getting shot up with that H, that horse. And she's got that lean on for real, and she's walking out, and we see Ashley talking to Vinnie's brother-in-law, and he's saying he give both balls to have one night with her. And then Vinnie say, well, if that's the case, it wouldn't be worth it. And she like, oh, both of them, okay. And then he's saying, well, just one. And she's like, well, no deal. And so then we see Candy, and Vinnie gives her a free drink, say, look like you need it. And she been working hard on them jabba jaws. And then we see Ashley flirting with Vinnie, and then Reggie Love say, be careful, Vinnie, that girl gonna be the death of you. She gonna run you ragged. And he like, I hope so. Then that's the girl that was shooting up with that H, and she getting ready to sit down. And he tell Reggie Love, tell the girl, I say you can sit, you better go work that ass. And she get up quick. We see this King Kong Bundy looking ass dude, and he asks Candy, hey, you looking for a date? And she say, yeah. And so she getting ready to take him out on a date, which is code word for pay like you weigh, and he weigh a lot. Meanwhile, Coffee Brown is trying to be on the host role with the girls, trying to get a story. And so she's asking a girl about how she stands all day in them heels. And she said used to be a ballerina. And they said, yeah, the nutcracker. And so then they see another dude pull up, and they trying to holler at the John. But just when they trying to talk with him, here come the police and the paddy wagon pull up. And so dude peels out with the quickness, and the police hop out, and he trying to arrest everybody. Tell them, hey, let's show me what you got. And Coffee Brown tries to spill up out of there, but he grabs her, say, no, you too. And he takes Angela Davis and brings her on the damn paddy wagon too, brings her downtown to jail. And when she gets there, Good Fro notices that monster fro she has, and it's like a match made in Frodom. And he call her Frodo. We catch up with Frankie, and he's on the hot streak playing poker with the fellas. And then Vinnie walks up and tells him, hey, whatever you do, don't give him no credit, because he ain't worth it. And then he shows him the money, say, I don't need credit, I'm on the road. And so then we catch up back with Candy, and she's walking, but this big fat boy, he about to have a heart attack trying to get up the steps. She gave him on the Stairmaster. And she's going ahead and hitting him with the jaws of life, sucking him dry, and he can barely hold on. And she's slobbing on Bob, and she's hitting him with the force, giving him a good tongue lashing, and he's barely able to handle it. And then next thing you know, he's gasping for air, and she sucked the life out of him basically because he passed out on the bed and fell out and was dead. And so she's still going. She wasn't gonna finish till she got every last drop. But then she noticed this dude ain't making no more noise, and so she asking, "You okay? You okay?" And Big Boy is dead. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go, gotta go. If you gotta go, go with a smile. And he laying there looking like a beached whale. She just took the water, the life right out of him, sucked the juice right out of him, sucked his soul out of his chest. And so now she's scared. He looking like she don't know what to do. And so she walks out of there, and sure enough, she see this pimp with his girl, and she tell him this guy just dead. And so Willie Dynamite, he looks at his girl and tells her to go on and check it out. And so she going in there, and then he follows behind, looking like he wearing a mechanic's jumpsuit. And so he goes on in there, and sure enough, you can hear him talking about get his wallet. They trying to rob the dude. And meanwhile, Angela Davis with her high heels on, nice shoes. Frodus, he notices the shoes, and so he comes up and talks to her, then tells him, let me talk to her and pull her to the side. And so the death says, go ahead. So he takes her out the lineup and pulls her to the side. Meanwhile, Candy is walking down the street. She can't believe that she just sucked the soul out of this dude. And she sees a cop in front of the hi-hat and tells him, go ahead. And Officer Pigowski tells her, wait right there. And so of course, like she gonna stand there and wait to fill out a report that she was slobbing on Bob and killed him. Then so she sees right up there, it's a room, and it looks like that's where somebody she knows is at. And meanwhile, Frodus, Good Fro, and Powerpuff Girl, they talking, and he says, I knew you wasn't no real streetwalker with them shoes, they too nice. And so she tells her who he is, that she a reporter, and as he walk away, she asks for his phone number, and of course he gave it to her because he couldn't resist. And so we see Vinnie, and he's still on the roll with everybody playing poker. He's getting all of everybody's money. He on a hot streak like never before. He even got old boy's Rolex from him. And he's telling everybody what he gonna buy with it and the new suit and everything. And next thing you know, a fight breaks out on the other side of the bar. And as the fight break out, first thing we got Big Mike. He tries to go and stop it, but then it's a cop. And the cop pulls out the badge and tells him, hey, back off, we got this under control. And first thing Vinnie do is try to put on that cape and play Captain Save him, and runs straight to save Abby, and then pushes her into the bathroom, tells her lock the door and don't come out till I tell you it's safe. And while she's in there, she just happens to see Darlene in there reading the book on the toilet. And so she starts talking to her, and she's saying she broke the buckle on her shoe, and Darlene gives her a safety pin to help fix it. And so she didn't know what to do, so Darlene helped her fix it, and then they start talking. And she's asking Darlene, hey, how do you choose this life? Why you do this? And she say, you don't need to know why. You don't need to understand. She's saying, don't you got family? Ain't somebody you want to see? And Darlene said, yeah, she got an aunt in Charlotte, but, you know, it is what it is. And so she ain't going to be able to probably see her. And then we see Vinnie, and he's talking, and it's a cop in there, and he's saying, hey, man, the cop is wanting money. He's running the shakedown, telling him he wants $250 a week. And he's saying, hey, I run a legitimate business. Why are you doing this? He's saying, man, everybody needs a safe place to drink. And even people like that. This freak show right there. And then they show this dude looking like a male version of Marilyn Monroe right here. And then this dude is with a mustache and everything. He ain't even trying to hide it. And so Vinnie, he knows that the cop tells him, hey, if you don't pay, then we gonna shake down all your customers, which will eventually put him out of business. So Vinnie goes ahead and pays him. He said $250 a week, and then he tells him he wants some top shelf bourbon. And so then you see Longo come in, and he's getting the money, all the money that Frankie won. And he's like, damn, did Vinnie call you? He like, yeah, and lucky for you, he did. Now you'll be straight for another night. Give me that watch too. And then he give him the watch, but then Longo give it back. He says it says Rolex, not Rolex. And so he know that watch ain't worth a damn and throws the watch to the ground. And now Frankie pissed because all the money he won is gone. And he comes while Vinnie is talking to everybody, and then he calls him a sellout like Brutus, and he tells him, man, I was on a hot streak and you ruined it. And then he walks out pissed, and Vinny is looking like, hey man, you the one owe all these people all this money. And so then Longo asks him, what was the name of the guy that started all the stuff down at the dock? And he tells him it was Bill Schmidt. So now Longo, he got that information, he played it cool, and then he's off and he's on his way. And then we see Candy, and she's going, she needs like somebody to talk to. A lot just happened, and she goes, and it was Thunder Thigh's room that she went up to. And so she's chilling, talking with Ruby, and she's asking her about what's going on and what happened. And Ruby asked her if she needed a drink or whatever, and so she said yeah, and she ended up giving her a drink, even though it was some shit that they didn't like. But she said it's something that the Johns always bring, but they never ask if they like it or not. And she notices this suede jacket, and it used to be this other girl's jacket, and Thunder Thigh says she stole it from Rodney, but he figures he wouldn't need it no more. And something must have happened to this girl. They didn't say what, but they were both admiring her jacket, and then they were saying it smelled like her, and it must have been some cheap cologne or something, because they both started joking about the cheap ass cologne. And Thunder Thigh say she used to steal it from the RX store and stick it up her coochie and smuggle it out. And one time, one bottle fell out and broke. So that means her stuff got loose from all that pounding over the years. But anyway, we cut back to Vinny, and the shop is closed, the bar is closed, and he's going to holler at Abby, and he goes to the back and asks her if she want to go have a drink with him, and she says no. And so he like, well, I'm confused, I thought we had a connection, a vibe. And she say, well, I didn't say I wasn't interested in you. And then she comes and start kissing on him and everything. And then she tells him he ain't in control of this relationship, she is. And so then he say, well, let me make one suggestion. And then he picks her up and puts her ass on the pool table, and then just start taking off that leotard and getting ready to take her down. He trying to stick that 8-ball in the corner pocket real quick. And so while she's on there, they show them, and they going at it, and they start to make a little connection. You see Rudy Pipolo pull up in the big red machine, and they hop up and they asking where's Bill Schmidt, and they tell old boy bring him down. And he said, well, he's at a work site. They said tell him to come here. And so they call and they bring Bill Schmidt down. And then we see Candy, and she's back at her apartment, and she getting ready to take off her hooker uniform. And so she starts to strip down to her tighty whities. She's still wearing tighty whities like men underwear. I guess that's easy access when your booty is flat as hers is. And she's sitting there having a drink and smoking the pancake. And then she's trying to relax or whatever. Meanwhile, they beating the hell out of that dude, Bill Schmidt, in the back. They beat the Schmidt out of him. And they gave him a couple little 2 pieces and a biscuit and left him laid out on the ground, barely breathing. And Rudy said, you gonna leave him like that? Rudy said, yeah, leave him right there for everybody to see. And so they left him toe up from the floor up. Meanwhile, we see Vinny, and he's talking to this one soldier boy right here. He looked like Keenan Ivory Wayans from A Get You Sucker. And he's trying to get a pistol from him, and he's talking to him, and he got a whole assortment of pistols and guns. He said he even got hand grenades. And so Vinny is saying, well, how about this? He's like, I can get you that LS model. He like, what's that? He's like, lady special. He like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. He like, what you need is not a gun, a gunman. And if called, I'll serve. And so pretty much Vinny gonna hire him to be his hired gun. And then we see Candy, and she getting her little morning cocktail juice going and getting in the zone, and she's starting to take off her little hook of red makeup. And then we see Vinny's brother-in-law at the bar, and he's ready waiting on Vinny, getting kind of pissed. And then there's Big Mike and that other dude named is Nicky. He like, well, you Nicky, we got 2 Nickies, how about I call you Black Nicky? He like, all right, that's cool. And so then we go over here, and then brother-in-law's pissed, and he's saying, man, they just beat up Bill Schmidt real bad, man, you little mobsters, man, what the hell? And he started getting loud, and then Black Nicky like, damn, I ain't even been working an hour, and I'm already gonna have to shoot me somebody. And he said, who's that? He's like, that's Black Nikki. He's here now. And so that he's trying to be cool now and understand the situation that's going on. Meanwhile, we see Good Fro, and he's trying, Officer Good Fro, he's trying to pat down his little fro so that he can get inside the car and make sure everything cool. And then here come Angela Davis, Coffee Brown, Sheba baby, and she getting in, and he thinking he about to get him a little play, and she want to follow some damn hookers and write a story, and she gave him a burger and fries in the bag. He like, damn, I thought we was going out to dinner. You ain't hungry? She like, I eat some fries. And so he like feel like she done set him up for information. Meanwhile, Candy is at dinner with a porn star, and so she having dinner and wine, getting a little tipsy. Old boy trying to play it cool, thinking that she just a stand-up girl, not even realizing he with blowjob Betty Boop. And so she acting brand new with him, talking about she ain't got no kids, no man, nothing, like she just all innocent. And he falling for her. Meanwhile, back at the bar, Darlene is sitting there talking with Abby, and Abby tries to talk to her, and next thing you know, Abby gives her a gift, which is a book, and she slides the book to her and tells her, here, you might enjoy reading this. And it's the book about an auntie or whatever. And next thing you know, she says, here, check this out. And she opens it up, and it's a Greyhound bus ticket. And she say, hey, maybe one day you get the chance to go visit your aunt. And so Darlene liked that, and she's like real happy and stuff. And they kind of made a nice little connection and everything. And Larry getting pissed. He didn't like that they were being friends before. And so he called Darlene over there. And before she goes, she handed Darlene a glass of wine on the house. And so while she go over there, first thing Larry do is debo that glass of wine and drink it right in front of Abby to make sure she know, hey man, Dick dried his car. I don't know what you thought. And so Abby kind of get a little salty right there. We see Candy, and she's coming home from her little date with the porn star's mustache, and then he's trying to give her a hug and a kiss, but she's so used to not kissing the Johns that she kind of plays him to the left, and then he's like, oh, my bad, and then she say, oh, it's just been a long time, so she acting brand new. And then next thing you know, she start giving him a kiss or whatever, and then she started licking him like a little puppy with her little tongue flapping around like that. And you could tell she kind of was inexperienced a little bit, like she was gonna lick his cheek, like she was happy he came home from work. And so after they was finished, she gets ready to go back inside and take off her little stuff and get ready for a night of working. And meanwhile, Vinnie, he's tired, had a hard day at work at the bar, and he's getting ready to wrap up. And sure enough, here comes Candy, and she got her little hooker wig in her hand, and she ready to hit the host roll and make it do what it do, because the hoe must go on. And so then she's out and about. Meanwhile, Vinnie, he's leaving with Big Mike, and Big Mike sees that Rudy Pipolo is outside waiting in the car. He asks if he need him to stay, but Vinnie tell him, no, it's good, you can leave. And so Vinnie, he gets ready to go over there and talk with Rudy Pipolo, and he asks what's going on, and they say, hey, we got something to show you, get in the car. And so Vinnie, he always a little worried. He asking, is it about what happened at the construction? They like, we took care of that. And so then they take him to this like warehouse or whatever, and they telling him this right here could be yours, and he trying to find out what is it. And they like, well, this is what we were telling you, this is the vision. Meanwhile, at the coffee shop, we see this old 70s ass Ron O'Neal, Iceberg Slim wannabe, and he telling Method Man about what happened and how she killed the old boy. And he's saying, man, everybody gonna want some of that when they find out. And she can overhear everybody talking in the whole restaurant about it. Even Vinnie and his crew is over there talking about it, wondering if he came before he went. And so everybody laughing and then talking about what happened and everything. And she like the talk of the town. And everybody getting to fill up on coffee and everything. And she's starting to feel a little uncomfortable. And then they asked her, hey, how about we give you your new name? The Jaws of Death. The Mouth of Death. And so she kind of got a little, shy or whatever. She tried to play it off, but when she turned her head, she kind of cracked a little smile or whatever. She kind of felt a little flattered about it or whatever. And so she got up, and when she got up, they started a slow clap like Rudy, and everybody was clapping for her and everything. And so she was getting a little shy and embarrassed, and then everybody stood up, and the whole restaurant started clapping for her. And she was just looking around and everything, and they was clapping and giving her dap or whatever, like she just scored the winning touchdown. And so everybody, she tried to be cool and keep it like it wasn't no big deal and walk out like it was nothing. She tried not to blush, but she blushed a little bit. And then when she was walking out, she told them all kiss her ass or whatever, basically. But like Larry said, hey man, in the end, we just proud of you. That's all. We all proud of you. And so she walked off, and that was pretty much the end of the episode. She was kind of like walking off into the sunset as a hero, as a conquering gladiator in the scene. Thanks for watching. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and also on patreon.com/JMoreReviews. Remember, $1 donation at Patreon can help contribute to me creating more content that we all can enjoy. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share and like the videos, and also check and enjoy these other videos that I made. You may find something that you haven't seen before, or you may find something new that you may have missed. Here's a list of the music that was used during the video creation. And also, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, comment, share, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.